"It makes no difference what men think of war," said the judge. "War endures. As well ask men what they think of stone. War was always here. Before man was, war waited for him. The ultimate trade awaiting its ultimate practitioner. That is the way it was and will be. That way and not some other way." He turned to Brown, from whom he'd heard some whispered slur or demur. "Aw, Davy," he said. "It's your own trade we honor here. Why not rather take a small bow? Let each acknowledge each."
"My trade?"
"Certainly.
What is my trade?"
"War. War is your trade, is it not?"
"And it ain't yours?"
"Mine too, very much so."
"What about all them notebooks and bones and stuff?"
"All other trades are contained in that of war."
"Is that why war endures?"
"No. It endures because young men love it, and old men love it in them. Those that fought, those that did not."
"That's your notion."
The judge smiled. "Men are born for games, nothing else. Every child knows that play is nobler than work. He knows, too, that the worth or merit of a game is not inherent in the game itself, but rather in the value of that which is put at hazard. Games of chance require a wager to have meaning at all. Games of sport involve the skill and strength of the opponents, and the humiliation of defeat and the pride of victory are in themselves sufficient stake, because they inhere in the worth of the principles and define them. But trial of chance or trial of worth, all games aspire to the condition of war. For here, that which is wagered swallows up game, player, all. Suppose two men at cards with nothing to wager save their lives. Who has not heard such a tale? A turn of the card. The whole universe for such a player has labored clanking to this moment, which will tell if he is to die at that man's hand or that man at his. What more certain validation of a man's worth could there be? This enhancement of the game to its ultimate state admits no argument concerning the notion of fate. The selection of one man over another is a preference absolute and irrevocable. And it is a dull man indeed who could reckon so profound a decision without agency or significance, either one. In such games as have for their stake the annihilation of the defeated, the decisions are quite clear. This man, holding this particular arrangement of cards in his hand, is thereby removed from existence. This is the nature of war, whose stake is at once the game and the authority and the justification. Seen so, war is the truest form of divination. It is the testing of one's will and the will of another within that larger will, which because it binds them is therefore forced to select. War is the ultimate game, because war is at last a forcing of the unity of existence. War is God.
Art is powerful. It has ability to move our mind, to change our opinion, to put us in the face of our darkest demons, to shape our ideals, to guide us through our darkest hours or make us aware of them. मैंने throughout my life बहुत तरह के art pieces consume करे हैं, from plethora of entertainment media, be it video games, comics, TV shows, novels, you name it. From laughs and chuckles of Golden Boy to the vileness of Am or Judge Holden. But I kind of have more of a bias towards the latter. Although a dystopian piece of fiction can leave you scarred or frightened, it also has power to teach you important lessons of human existence. लेकिन मैं ऐसा भी आदमी हूँ जो उस डिस्टोपिया में भी कुछ होपफुल खोज निकाल लूँगा. No matter how much messed up the situation is, I can always find a character I can idealize, ideas of good spirit I can pass on, or even answers to struggles of morality and life. लाइक मैं उनमें से एक हूँ जो आई हैव नो माउथ एंड आई मस्ट स्क्रीम की एंडिंग को इंटरप्रेट करते हैं एज सम ट्रायम्फ ऑफ द ह्यूमन स्पिरिट. बट इवन देन, even after experiencing something like No Mouth, the only story, the only media that left me with this feeling of indescribable eeriness was this colorful anime about giant hungry people who skipped their breakfast. And you know what's so funny about this? मैंने सिर्फ इस बेसिस पे देखना शुरू करा था कि this show has awesome animations. AOT starts with a very basic setup. Earth has been occupied by these giant humanoid creatures we call Titans who eat nothing but humans for their appetite. जिसकी वजह से majority of the human race has been wiped off the map and बचे कुचे लोग इन 3 concentric walls में confined हैं. Where did the Titans come from? Who built these walls? No one knows. Simultaneously, you are also shown the extraordinary measures taken in response to this extraordinary situation. From the ODM gear that serves as this high mobility device to the Survey Core unit, जिनका entire purpose revolves around figuring out the mysteries of the world they inhabit. But curiosity is a fatal poison, जो Survey Core का death toll बहुत evidently show करता है. In fact, the very first episode shows a mother rooting for her son, जो अपने fellow scouts के साथ expedition पे निकला हुआ था. But owing to the tragic circumstances, he died, and the only thing salvageable was half of his arm. Also in the first episode, we are introduced to our protagonist Eren Yeager, जो एक छोटा बच्चा है living with a dream of one day joining the Corps and hopefully earning his freedom to be outside. Seeing his absolute stubbornness, his father Grisha promise करता है to show him their basement once he is back from his little trip. But in a tragic turn of fates, a giant unusual titan appears in front of the wall, creating a breach that leads to hordes of titans inside, resulting in mass casualties. Eren, with his adopted sister Mikasa and best friend Armin, narrowly escapes the slaughter, but not before witnessing his mother being eaten alive, setting up the foundation for his future journey. Now ये plot summary उन लोगों के लिए थी जिन्होंने शो नहीं देखा है. For someone who has watched, मैं superficially touch करना चाहता हूँ what according to me AOT did so well and hopefully articulate why it made me feel the way it did. Right off the bat, AOT shows no hesitation in showing utter depravity and desperation of its world. Every day here is a moment of uncertainty, desperation and despair. कहीं और कभी भी टाइटन्स तो पर अटैक कर सकते हैं, and if you are unfortunate enough to be associated with military, then shadow of death will always loom over you like those rainy clouds in the sky, showering you with its malevolence and melancholia. Some are lucky to be alive, some might receive a proper burial. For others though, there's barely enough left of them to be recognizable. Some tolerate, honing their skills in hope of a better future, others succumb due to either physical or mental trauma. And it's not just the outside world that is rigged against you, it's also the world on the inside that's full of disparity. तुम्हारी यहाँ की रॉयल फैमिली और हायर क्लास को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता how many of you die. वो तो आराम से अपनी लाइफ जी रहे हैं at the center of the paradise. They don't care about that relative of yours who died in the wall breach because they might be busy saving their own asses. I mean, look at you. इस इनकम और सोशल डिस्पैरिटी ने तुम्हें भी जानवर बना के छोड़ दिया है. And it's all thanks to those maniacal bastards outside the walls. But wait, क्या वो इंसान नहीं है? क्या उनके भी dreams and ambitions and family नहीं है just like us? If yes, then who are the good guys here? Don't get me wrong, there are or were rotten apples here and likewise they have poisoned the bunch. But are we all like this? I guess it doesn't matter anyway, for you are fighting with the wounds of the past, and we with a glimpse of a future. Who are you? Who are we? I don't know. But what I do know is that we must fight. Lekin, what good is a fight that is not intriguing? If there is one thing that I have observed in the Japanese media, it's that they are extremely good at writing thrillers. The moment you thought you are done with one mystery, there is another waiting for you at the corner. Then one mystery builds over another until eventually, it's not the same simple premise anymore. transforming this cute little plot of fighting against our monstrous oppressors to a modern epic about mankind and war. And I am not kidding when I say this, that I was glued to the screen every step of the way, waiting for every mystery to reveal itself. Heck, I even skipped a college day just to binge entirety of season 4. This also makes AOT immensely rewatchable because getting back and seeing all the stuff with future context is enough to leave you flabbergasted. But even after all these excellent build-ups and fabulous payoffs, if there is one thing that was highlight of the show for me, it's the battles. The strategies, the tears, the chaos, betrayals, anger. Main Laffer Disayama, you are pretty good. My favorite of all being the Shiganshina arc. The stakes, the desperation, sacrifices, rage, fear. It all makes up for one of the best dogfights I have ever witnessed in any piece of fiction. And honestly, it's so good कि मेरे नज़रिए से ये शो कभी उन हाइट्स को वापस टच ही नहीं कर पाया. Seriously though, Shinzo Sasageo! मैंने प्रीवियसली इस वीडियो में बहुत ब्रीफली टच करा था ऑन द मॉरल एम्बिग्विटी ऑफ AOT's वर्ल्ड, but no aspect of AOT shows this off better than its characters. Apart from maybe 2 tyrants, nearly every character and side character in AOT एक byproduct है अपने environment का, molded and twisted by the cruel world they have inherited from their forefathers. Armin is a timid yet intelligent lad who dreams of big oceans that are supposedly present outside the walls, dreaming on one day visiting such a place. He shares that dream with Eren, an impulsive, hot-headed young man who in his own words is a slave to freedom. If someone dares to take his, he would gladly take theirs. But if he trusts you, he wouldn't even hesitate to risk his life for you or take someone else's. One of such incident was witnessed by Mikasa, who was granted a second life by him and ever since has developed a crush on him. But out of all of them, my favorite character has to be none other than Erwin Smith is the perfect embodiment of what AOT is so good at. As a child, he used to study in his father's class, who had a conspiracy that their current regime is lying to them about the history of walls and the outside world. He proposed this in front of his class, and Erwin, being an innocent child, preached it to others as well. This ultimately catches the attention of higher authorities, who then assassinates his father. From that day forward, Erwin made it a point to figure out the mysteries of the world for himself, and he would go above and beyond for it, whether it's risking civilians' life to catch female titan or leading countless of his colleagues or recruits to deaths. Eventually, he and his new scouts were able to prove some of the conspiracies. However, he unfortunately couldn't live long enough to see entire truth for himself. And for the last time, this charismatic leader leads rest of his crew to their noble deaths. He gave up his dream and joins his slain comrades in the afterlife. This to me was my favorite depiction of moral ambiguity that surrounds AOT's world and action of its characters. Speaking of which, I still don't understand why so many people hate Gabi. Yes, she killed Sasha. Yes, she hates her own kind for atrocities committed by their ancestors. But given her circumstances, it makes perfect sense. She is a child soldier who has been brainwashed into hating aliens of paradise, which was only exacerbated by the fact that they chose to attack Marley, resulting in brutal death of her close friends. I mean, if Mikasa with far less depth could become one of the most beloved characters in the fandom, then the least Gabi deserves is respect. Baki, I can go over others like Grisha, Zeke, Levi, Historia, Reiner, Burrito, Annie, and so many more. But if I do that, then this video might be too long for your liking, and I think I have already made my point. Sure, there are definitely problems with the show, but I still think it gets across its point pretty well. For the most part, AOT does all of these above mentioned aspects spectacularly, and it concludes by piercing your chest and crushing your heart in a million different pieces. I have read and experienced my fair share of dystopian worlds, but none of them made me feel the way it did. In MGS, at least Snake gets to live his final months as a man and not a soldier. But in AOT, that's not the case. In No Mouth, I can at least view the acts of mercy and sacrifice as this triumph of humanity, but AOT makes it obvious what it wants to say. The sheer brutality and acts of violence committed by madmen of Blood Meridian makes each one of them unlikable to various degrees. But in AOT, these are just regular people like you and me, with reasonable dreams and ambitions in their heart. I was rooting for them every step of the way, and yet all of their efforts would eventually be nullified. And when the credits roll and second half of the song kicks in, you don't know the lyrics, and you surely don't understand them unless you are German. But the imagery speaks for itself, and you understand what it implies. Everything that your beloved characters stood for, fought for, sacrificed for, was rendered meaningless. And that was how AOT left me hollow. I was speechless, dumbstruck, and I didn't know how to articulate what I really felt. But whatever it was, it sure as hell wasn't pleasant. But hey, maybe that's just me. Let me know how you feel about the show and what was your reaction to the ending. Till then, I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.